35 years since the release of Home Alone, the classic Christmas film that features one of the most iconic homes in movie history. Children and, let's face it, adults around the world have dreamed of living inside this home. And now we want to introduce you to one man who lived that dream during and after the filming. John Abendshien wrote a memoir, Home But Alone No More, of his family's memories inside this famed home. And let's bring in John right now. John, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. And this is 35 years in the making. And I guess first off, I'd just like to know how the studio approached you. What were your thoughts? How did that all come together?
Yeah, hi, Mike, and thank you for inviting me to join you today. Good question. The movie was filmed in 1990. My family and I moved into the home in Winnetka, Illinois. It's a northern shore suburb of the city of Chicago, and we moved there in early 1989, and I would just ask our viewers to try to imagine this kind of scenario in your personal lives. You move into a new home. You know, you and your spouse or partner move into what you think is your dream home, your forever home, and in less than 2 years, that home is the centerpiece of a blockbuster movie and one of the most watched and iconic movies of our lifetime. And people start coming from all over the country to see your home. And then ultimately, fast forward 5, 10, 15, 20, now 35 years, as of actually the premiere was a week ago in November of 1990, that home has become the most famous home in the world, arguably, and people from all over the world are coming to see your home, where you still live. I mean, if you have trouble kind of imagining that scenario, join my club. After all these years, it is still so difficult for me to get my head around. In fact, if I could pack it all into one nutshell of a word, it's surreal. I mean, it's just really amazing that this happened. But to your question, Mike, Home Alone was filmed, as you know, in 1990. But there's kind of a bizarre thread of connections between my family and Hughes Entertainment that goes back to the year 1983. That's when we lived in the Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois. And we had no sooner moved into that home, and John Hughes began the production of, well, actually, it was his first major film, 16 Candles, just down the block from us. So we were able to be eyewitnesses to allow the external filming of that movie. And we thought it was a lot of fun, but, you know, we thought, well, that's it for us for the movie business. But then in 1988, 5 years later, we were approached by Hughes Entertainment and asked if we might consider having our house being at least put on a list of homes as candidates for the Uncle Buck movie. Now, Uncle Buck was filmed actually in that very same neighborhood, ultimately, but we had to turn that down because we had just acquired the home in Winnetka, and we had the Evanston home in the market. Hey, we can't tie it up 6 months for a shoot. We've got to move on here. But in the process, they came up and took a look at the Winnetka home, and it was in their portfolio. So years later, 1989 and early 1990, Chris Columbus and team are up and down the North Shore looking for the just right place for the Home Alone filming. And the location manager recalled that she had this photo of our home in her portfolio. Chris took a look at it, and basically, I think he said, you know, that's it. And he shared it with John Hughes, and John loved it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that is an incrediso story. It was almost like you were destined to be part of these John Hughes films, like almost like if at times he was following you. That's such an interesting take right there.
So tell us, okay, so way, Mike, it really did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So tell us, okay, the filming is going on, and I hear that you and your family get to stay in the home while everything is going on. Tell us about that.
Yes. Originally, the studio offered us a very lovely apartment located several miles away. But as it turned out, we needed either my wife or I needed to be on site to do sign-offs on changes to the property a lot of times during the day. And so that was a lot of back and forth. Plus, I had a 6-year-old daughter at a nearby school. So logistically, it just didn't work out. But we had a large master bedroom that we could convert into essentially an apartment. And it was a nice, comfortable arrangement. We had a large bedroom, comfortable sitting room with fireplace, study, the whole works. So we kind of moved in there. And actually, the other reason I have to confess to this, that we wanted to move back into the home, is what I call FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay, this was an exciting adventure for us.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be, right there at Grand Central to watch it all happen. And indeed, we were. Oh my gosh. We had the run of the place. As long as we stayed out of the camera eye, we could be anywhere, anytime. So we watched a lot of the scenes as they were being filmed. And the cast and crew, most of them were away from home. So the idea of being in a home was very comfortable to them. So when they were off shoots, a lot of them would just hang around the house. So we got to know them up close and personal. They became almost like what I describe as our movie family. And I get into it in the book, but watching them on the screen that first time, as I watched the pre-premiere premiere, I felt like, hey, I know those characters. The characters we see on the screen are so much like the personalities that I came to know at a personal level. It's amazing.
Yeah, that truly is amazing. And what was it like seeing the movie for the first time, seeing your home on the big screen? And did you know at that moment, oh, this is going to be big. This is going to be much bigger than a movie, just a regular movie. This could have a lot of years on this.
Yeah, seeing it that first time, a lot of things came together. And by way of a bit of background, I described this in the book, but I was given an early stage script to read. And this was long before the filming even started. And true confession, I thought that the script was, as I describe it, nuttier than a squirrel convention. I mean, I've got a pretty serious motive mind, and I just couldn't get my head around it. And I told my wife, I said, this might make it to a B grade that first holiday season, but then off into the cinematic afterlife, and it didn't turn out that way at all, as you know. And then in the filming itself, the scenes were shot, as most movies are, out of sequence. It depends on a number of logistics, who's available on a given day, and weather, lighting, and the whole bit. So as I watched it being filmed, I had no concept of how it was going to piece together. So indeed, when I saw it for that first time in the theater, it was really quite a feeling, in as much as it's the first time I had seen it all strung together as a complete product. And also, what I didn't appreciate during the filming was how the John Williams music was going to bring this movie to life. I mean, it was just incredible being in the theater that first time and hearing that soundtrack. Pretty amazing. So, yes, I confess, even at that moment, I had no concept that A, it would be such a blockbuster, and B, that I would be talking to you 35 years later about the, just the trajectory of this film. I had absolutely no concept that this film was going to become, such a popular and universally watched film every year. It's quite a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it so is where so many people go back to it, watch it over and over again during the Christmas season because, one, they like the storyline, but two, one of the biggest characters in the film is the home itself. And I think a lot of people have that connection with the home, feeling lost in it as well with Kevin McAllister. Was there a favorite scene that you really enjoyed seeing it all develop inside your home?
Well, the scene that, well, let me, a little bit of background here. Chris Columbus jokingly described the home as warm and menacing, okay? And I couldn't understand what he meant by that menacing piece until I saw the film as a complete whole. And then, the scenes where Kevin is getting set up to fight off the wet bandits and so forth, and you've got, kind of the eerie lighting coming out of the house, and then the kind of spooky John Williams music in the background. I could then understand what Chris meant by the menacing part, that the house kind of took on a different personality. But I'd have to say, even as I watched the film that first time, I still, had no idea that the home itself was going to emerge kind of as a superstar itself. But certainly that is the case. And there are several scenes here, I think, where the home has really played an important part. But one of the most memorable scenes I saw being filmed, and I get into some detail in it in the memoir, is the scene where Kevin is coming out and shooting down the stairs on the sled and making a ski run out of the staircase and then shooting out the front door. The home certainly played a role in that, but a little bit of background info here. In fact, I was totally blocked that day. I had a train to make, or so I thought, and I was running late, trying to get down those stairs, and they were getting ready to do the practice runs. And Kevin wasn't Kevin, not the Kevin on the film, but his stunt double. And they had built a kind of a rampway over the banister of the stairwell because the stairs themselves did not line up well with the front door. He would have, gone down there and just smacked up against the wall. So they made an arrangement where he had kind of a homemade ski run. So his stunt double comes shooting down that track, and I'm watching it from above because I can't get down the stairs. And they had big landing pads for him to land on out in front of the door on the driveway. And oh my gosh, he totally missed those pads. I mean, he was lying there. He was out cold. He totally unconscious. I came bounding down the stairs, and Chris was down there, and the stunt manager, and the whole gang. Really, their faces were white, worried about this gentleman. But after a while, he kind of got up and shook it off and said, "Hey, let's do it again." So there was a very memorable scene there for me, in as much as watching that guy and watching him get back up there and do it again. And this time they had adjusted the pads so he had a safe landing. But that was really etched into my memory, to be sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I could just imagine that and what you were thinking during the whole process. But you have a perfect title for this book, John, and all the memories that were associated throughout the years. Home, but Alone No More. In many ways, after this movie was released and people continued to watch it year after year, you were sharing your home with so many people that adored this movie for generations.
Yep.
And they would come in droves, right, to see the home, especially during the holiday season, and take pictures, video. I mean, what was that experience like?
Well, as I describe it in my narrative, I went through kind of a roller coaster of feelings about all that. I went from, during the filming itself, gee, this is exciting, this is fun, to a period of time after the release of the film when we had people coming from all over to see the house. I had, kind of, as you might imagine, a sense of loss of privacy. I mean, just something as simple as, hauling the garbage out to the curb. It was like people taking my pictures, and it was like being in a British tabloid with the paparazzi out there. And so I went through a period where, I was frankly, frustrated with this. I went from that tinge of excitement during the filming to, kind of, dear God, make it stop after the onslaught of visitors. But I went through a change of heart there because I instead of just kind of putting a fake smile on my face and waving at people as I walked out the door, I started to engage them. And we had people literally from all over the world that I was able to talk to. And, I had asked them very simple questions. Why are you here? What is there about this house? Why do you like the movie? And I feel like I really have a few insights about why this film has become so popular and enduring that come from those conversations. But what I could sense, Mike, was the joy those people had in being there. And that joy became infectious. I started to pick up on it too. So I kind of went through that kind of, gee, why on earth did we ever do this phase to, this is, guess what? This is something that really people love. And, I have just somehow, maybe it was a cosmic joke or what, I've been given a gift here. Why not share the gift? And so I just started engaging people. And indeed, we lived there for 23 years, for over 20 years after the film was released. So I've got a lot of interactions, a lot of memories of people experiencing that joy. And so here I am 35 years later, and I feel like life has given me a gift here, and I'm trying to share that gift with others with this book. And it's an upbeat read. I mean, I think it's a fun read.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's a great holiday book to pick up, especially for those that love the movie Home Alone and wanted to learn a little bit more of the backstory of what it was like for your family inside of that home, but alone no more. John, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. Great memories that you shared with us. We really appreciate it. And just tell our viewers where they could pick up the book. I know a lot of people are going to want to read it.
Oh, certainly. Again, Home, but Alone No More. And you can order it on Amazon and probably your favorite bookstore as well. So
there we go. John, thanks so much for joining us on Live Now from Fox. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Delighted to join you.
Our thanks to John for the memories of living inside of the iconic Home Alone house. All right, everyone, we are continuing to bring you some of the day's biggest top stories, headlines, and, of course, live feeds as they come in from all over the country. Well,